Dude.
I'm doing fine.
Okay, guys, welcome. We are live. Hello, my SEM Rush friends. SEM Rush, I've missed you. Welcome to the show. I'm here with Avi Arya, and for all of you who are just coming in, please do let me know where you're from, what you do, and all of that good stuff. Um, have I frozen now? Can you can you see me? Hey guys, it looked like it was just Avi on his own there for a second. I'm back. So I see all of the comments coming in. For everybody who's just joining, welcome to this show where we're going to be talking to Avi Arya about how he managed to grow his agency to over 500 plus clients. So for the first couple of minutes, please do let us know where you're from in the world. Tell us what your name is, what you do. It'd be really, really good to hear where everybody's from and where in the world you are right now. So we have got, I don't even know how to pronounce your name, but we've got Shitij if you say you're from India, India is a big place, guys. Where in India? Let us know. We got Devendra from Bangalore. How you doing, Devendra? Let us know what you do there in Bangalore. Um, Adi, we've got Basant from Kolkata. Good to see you on the show today, Basant. Let us know what you do over there. We've got James Lewis from Mumbai, James Lewis Incorporated. James Lewis, let us know. Is that a brand? Is it an agency? Is it both? We've got Shivam, who's a business developer from Ghaziabad. We've got Ashwini, again from India. Let us know where in India you're from. It'd be good to hear. We've got yep, Chitij is from Delhi. Fantastic. And yeah, we're just gonna let everybody kind of wander in. Avi, how you doing, my friend? Oh, Avi, we cannot hear you at the moment, in fact. So if you have a play with your mic setting, your audio settings, I will let you know when I can hear you. You can just keep on chatting to us and I'll let you know when you come in. Don't worry, we've got a couple of minutes anyway. We've got, who else have we got who's coming in? We've got Prabhakar from Bangalore. You're looking to build your network marketing business. Lakshay from Fadid. You're interested in blockchain. You know, we've not had, I don't think I've had someone who's come on and said, I'm interested in blockchain. I'm sure you can teach me. I don't know anything about blockchain. James Lewis, you're a Facebook ad guy. We've got follow the panda with no videos. What's your name? Do not tell me it's follow the panda. I know that you're from Germany. So we've got someone from Germany, which is nice. So we've got Germany. We've got the United States. We've got DJ Daddy. I commend you, DJ Daddy Wills, on your name. I like the name DJ Daddy Wills. It's pretty damn good. So you get award for the best name that I've seen in the last couple of minutes as well. Do let us know what you're here for, guys. If you're looking, I'm assuming that you're looking to maybe grow something that you do, grow an agency, etc. And it'd be great to hear what everybody is here for. Avi, do you want to test your audio again? See if we can hear you. We're not yet able to hear you, my friend. Maybe if you just try and refresh, see if that works potentially.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, fantastic. Okay, brilliant. So, guys, we're gonna get kicked off in one more minute. We've got Digital Mahit. He's from Delhi. He's here to talk about paid advertising. We've got Avijit from Bangalore. We've got Ajay from Maharashtra. So good to meet all of you guys. And we'll give it one more minute before we kick off.
Have you already been for your early morning 10K run?
Good man. You know what? I didn't go running today. I've begun running in the evenings, to be honest with you. I in the mornings just spend my time in front of the laptop, but I will be doing my run today. Good man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Lovely.
guys, we have reached the 5 minute mark. And for those of you who are just joining, as I said, I'm here with Avi Arya. And today we're going to be talking about how to build your agency to over 500 plus clients. Okay. We're going to be talking about what that's even like. We're going to talk about how you can manage something like that. We're going to talk about how to operationally do it. So Avi Arya is going to be taking us through it. And Avi, first of all, welcome, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. This was long coming, and I'm very excited to be here on this show with you.
Ditto, ditto. I'm really glad you're here, Avi, and I think that I'm personally really interested to hear about this. I do not have 500 clients. I want 500 clients, and I would love if I pass it over to you because I do know that you've got a presentation that you're gonna walk us through to give us a couple of insights. So, Avi, sir, I take it away. Over to you.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Deepak. Before I start, I've got a very short presentation, and I'm going to have it make it more conversational with you. You and I have had
Is, is
really
is there a way to turn up your audio potentially, Avi? I think that a couple of people have mentioned that they want to, even if you have to pull out that mic that you've got. I saw you with the old
no
microphone.
microphone. Alrighty. I
Ah, now we might have lost you, Avi. In fact, and it looks like that my video, my video isn't fantastic either. We 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 are not having the best of it, are we, guys? We've got Avi the DJ who you can't hear, and you've got me, and my video is completely out of sync. Even I see that. Anton is going to kill both of us. Um, Avi, I can't hear you as of yet. So let's go back to the low audio. We're just going to ask everybody to maybe just jack up their headphones. We can't hear you just yet, Avi. No, it's very very low still. So Avi, what we'll do is we will let you keep trying to resolve the mic situation, and guys, I am going to refresh my video because apparently even that's not working. So I'm going to come back in. This is a car crash, isn't it? So for those of you who are still here, I apologize. I'm going to refresh and come back in, see if that works, and I will be back with you in 1 second. Okay, so first of all, can people see me at the same rate that I'm talking? Avi, we still can't hear you at the moment, unfortunately. But what we're going to do while we're waiting for you is I first of all want to check that people can see me and hear me okay before I continue. Okay, Avi, I think you've got it just there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Avi, we have you, sir.
Yes, so I would just wanted to know how we sent out an email to a lot of people from our community. I wanted to know how many people are here from the Ask Avi Arya community. Just type triple A. I'm here with one of the fittest digital marketers in the UK.
I don't know about that. I'm probably just the most outspoken about it.
That's what we marketers do, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
It's
just I
true.
wanted
It's true. So guys, thank you for bearing with us. I'm sure Anton is going to shoot both of us when we come off air. I'm almost certain of it. But we do now have us both connected, I think. So Avi, I pass it over to you, sir, because I know that of course you've got something you'd like to share with everybody.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I've got a story to start with, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours, buddy.
Alrighty. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all of you people are here and are fascinated by the idea of having 500 clients for your agency. Let me tell you, it went up to 700 clients and it came back to 400 during COVID. And the entire journey Like Steve Jobs says, the dots connect looking back. When you're going ahead, we did not have a clear plan for 500. So there was no roadmap. But when you walk the unbeaten path, the unwalked path, you stumble upon so many things. And then you get invited by amazing people like Deepak to say, you know what, share your plan. I wish I could tell you that 10 years back, I had a plan that I started with. There was the plan was very different from where we landed up. And now I'm happy to share with you all the mistakes that we made and what really happened for us to come here. Ladies and gentlemen, on the 29th of October, that just happened a few months ago, I turned 44. But the
Yeah.
story that I'm going to tell you is when I was 18 years old. Born and brought up in New Delhi, all I wanted to do in life was to race street cars. My dad used to go to bed. I would take out the car keys from under his pillow, race with other people, make some money on the side. And I was like, this is my calling. I think I was one of the only 18-year-olds who really was clear about where I wanted to go in life. But like everything else in life, things change. I remember one day my dad gave me a frantic call. He wanted to meet me in his office. I traveled all the way to his office. I walked in. There was a red carpet on a wooden floor. There were these two landline phones, these phones which had wires coming up from the walls,
Mhm.
uh, and they were off the hook. My dad's phones were never off the hook. I knew there was a serious conversation coming in. I was like, he sat me down and he said, son, I've got two options for you. The thing is, I've lost everything in my business. We had to sell the house, we had to sell the cars. I cannot afford to send you overseas to study street car racing or whatever you want to study. You have two options: join my business and let's restart, or leave the house. In 1 second, he changed my complete life. I stormed out of the room. I said, nothing doing, I'm leaving. In a classic Hindi movie fashion, my mom was waiting outside. I had a nice conversation with her, and I think better sense prevailed because the very next morning I found myself behind the reception of my dad's office.
Mm.
Small 27 room motel. I learned housekeeping. I learned how to take care of the restaurant, and I also learned how, that my dad is the star of his own small organization. Where would I find my place under the sun? As a youngster, I needed a direction. I needed somewhere to land. After a few months, one day there was an international tourist who walked into our hotel. He paid us in Dutch guilders, which was pre-euro currency. We converted the Dutch guilders, and it turned out to be double Indian rupees. And I'm asking myself, hang on, if one international tourist can pay us double of what an Indian customer is paying us, how would I get all 27 rooms filled up with foreign customers?
Mm.
That means I'll double the revenue, double the income, and I'll become a star in my dad's eyes. And maybe one day he'll be able to send me overseas to study streetcar racing and all of that. Now I finally had a plan to work towards. But hang on, how does a young 18, 19-year-old boy in the late 90s connect a small motel to people all over the world? How do I amplify that message? During those times, ladies and gentlemen, there was a new phenomenon on the market called the internet. This was a service that would allow you to connect with people in different parts of the world. However, it was available only at the British School Library and the Sheraton Hotel. And both of them were charging approximately $10 for 30-minute access, which
Wow.
was prohibitively expensive. So now what do I do? I did go there a few times, try to understand how this works. A few friends of mine had internet access. I knew I could go into chat forums and work with people. And beyond that, nothing else. After a few months, I saw an ad in the paper. A computer company said, we are giving away cyber cafe licenses. Contact Rohit Sikand. Rohit, after 20 years, is still a friend of mine. I was one of the first people to contact him because I was the only person who knew what a cyber cafe meant. I contacted them after 4 months of crazy paperwork. We got a six computer cyber cafe in my dad's small guest house. Now,
Wow.
I had access to the slowest internet on the planet. Uh, in the morning, I would go in, breakfast time, afternoon, evening. By the evening, I had the entire website open up for whatever channel I wanted to serve. And I started chatting with people, and I said, how do I get more people to a small motel in India? Somebody said, create a website. Huh, website. But again, towards the 2000, late 90s, 2000, there were only companies out of Bangalore which were creating websites for foreign companies.
Okay.
And they were obviously very expensive. So I spoke to some of their developers to help me on the weekend. And obviously, it took about 6 to 9 months before a website could be ready. The day of the website, I knew that my life is going to change forever. It's going to be the biggest thing that ever happened. The day came, the website was launched, and Deepak, you can guess what happened to my business? Zero.
I was gonna say. I was gonna ask.
That was one of my first ever business lessons in life. That life, my friend, is a series of successful events. It's never one event that changes your life.
Yeah.
I went back to the drawing board asking people in the chats, like, what happened? I did the website. Now nothing happened. They're like, okay, do a little bit, play around with your keywords, have a landing page, have some toll free numbers for foreigners to trust you with having all of those things. Took another few months. I did all of those things, and after a few months we started getting some queries. My almost
Wow.
first interaction with electronic mail, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know they were real people, but they were having decent conversations, families wanting to come to India, back and forth. On the 15th of December, my first client came to the airport. I took my dad's car to pick them up. There was a family of four. I picked them up. They were real human beings. I picked them up. They came to my dad's hotel. Room 302, I checked them in. They paid me approximately $400 for a 14-day stay into India. Checked them up, came down, gave the money to the reception, to the cashier. And I remember leaning back at the reception and saying, Avi, this bloody internet thing works, man. And because I'd seen those $400, and I was like, now it's time to 10 times my effort on the internet.
Yeah.
And then there was
Wow.
no looking back. I started working on the internet day in and day out, started getting queries, multiple queries. And within a 1 year period, we were able to completely, it was only 27 rooms. My dad was already doing a good job of selling those rooms. We were able to sell them out with international tourists, charge a different price with all the airport pickup drop services and all of that. Completely changed my life in a 1 year span. After this, we had the business continued to carry on. We were able to not only pay off our debts, but we were able to make another hotel happen in the next
Wow.
few years. Completely the internet. Deepak, we were, in all humility, we were the first movers in the country. Maybe there was a Marriott or a Hilton or some of these sites.
Yeah.
Maybe there was one blogger from the UK or US talking about India. Every other position, hotels in Delhi hotels, 2-star hotels, 3-star, every position was open. It was like the first 5 overs of cricket. Nobody was playing the match. There was no fielder, and we were dominating every single search position. It was
Wow.
unreal time. My dad's wisdom came to me, and he said to me one day, he said, what's the plan? And I was like, what does it take for this man to ever be happy? He still wants a plan. He said, what is the plan? Because this unprecedented growth is not sustainable. The market is not going to allow you to dominate the way it's happening right now. You need
Yeah.
to think of, but for me, it was the first ever experience. I was like, this is going to go on forever. So he came and dampened the party, and he said, no, you need to do other things as well. So I went back and I started asking my own people who staying in our small motels, and I realized that they were like, we want to travel to Agra, we want to travel to Kerala, we want to. So I realized they want more travel information. So I
Yeah.
created a few websites which were only about travel to India. Now those websites ranked really fast, and I got greedy. I had over 100 travel websites. Tickets to India, cheap air tickets India, tickets to Bangalore, cheap air tickets Bangalore, tour to India, tourism Rajasthan.
How
Every
do you
Yeah.
how do you manage 100? I don't even know the concept of actively managing 100 websites. Like the people, the man, but maybe it was a different time back then. I've just the concept of doing it at that scale and doing it well is like incredible.
So the thing is, like I said, everybody has a different way of working. Now this is all hindsight. Now for me, I realized I can create and rank a website first. Let me just amplify the efforts and do it 100x. I
Okay.
did not have the know-how to say, let me do one thing and do it really well and build it up and make it an Expedia.com. I didn't know that. So, as a 20, as an early 20-year-old guy, I just like, I know how to rank one website, let me do 100. So that's
Yeah.
what I did. 96 of them flopped. When I say flopped, almost nothing happened. They were, crickets. But the four websites did very well. Now,
Okay.
one day I got a call from the Indian equivalent of Expedia, like a Make My
Wow.
Trip or a Yatra, and they said, "Hey, we love the traffic on your website. Can we do an affiliate model?" And I'm like, and I remember I had that one of those landline phones, and I'm like, I'm in a meeting right now. Can you send me an email? And I sent that Deepak because I said that to them because I didn't know what an affiliate meant, and I didn't want to sound like a fool on the phone. So I said, send me an email, and I'll get back to you. On the email was as confusing. It said, "We love the traffic on your website. Let's do an affiliate. We'll give
The
you."
same thing.
It's the same thing. So I'm like, what? It doesn't seem like I have much to lose. So they wanted me to put a code on my website and do some redirection work. I asked my developer in Bangalore. He did that, and nothing happened for a few weeks. After that, I started doing some tickets. 5 tickets. I got an email. You get 5 tickets. Congratulations, 10, 15, 20. On the peak of it, we were doing 100 tickets a day, which was about 80,000 Indian rupees a day in net real profit, which was almost a
Wow.
£1,000 a day. Back in early, but by now we're in the our 2003, 4, 5 era.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was my second success, on, and I was like, this is amazing. The internet is amazing. You can do anything on it, and it works. And but I learned one thing, that you listen to your customer when you're growing a business. Listen to your customer, and work accordingly.
Yeah.
So that was my second. That by now, Facebook, Google, TripAdvisor, all of these large companies had come to India, and they had one mission. They had all the large clients with them. They now wanted small businesses to work with them. So
Okay.
they saw my success story, and some of these companies came and said, "Why don't you start speaking on stage and tell people what you did?" As you can all see, that I love speaking when given an opportunity. So I grabbed that opportunity, and I said, I went on stages all over the world, and I told people what I did, how I built it, all of that. At the end of every conversation, people would come and say, "Hey, Avi, can you do this for us?" And I was like, no, I mean, this is what I do for my own business. I mean, I don't do it for others. I mean, I'm not. Do you have an agency? I was like, an agency means an advertising agency. They said, no, do you have an internet agency or internet marketing? It was not even called digital marketing. So, what did the market really want from me? And was there a service I could productize? It was not clear at all. So, and I'd never really hired an agency to know how an agency works. How do you send a proposal? What I
Yeah.
mean, in 2007, 8, how do you even hire people? What do you say? SEO specialist? What do you say? Content specialist? A blogger? I mean, these terms were far and few in between during that time. So by 2009, I had so much demand coming in from people saying, "Do it for us, do it for us." So in 2009, I was like riding high on the confidence on my of my last two mini ventures. I launched an agency called Internet Moguls. I was like, we
Ah.
are the internet moguls of the world. And I'll tell you, Deepak, I went for my first ever booth. I set up a booth at a
Okay.
travel event because I wanted to get into travel because that's all I knew. At one of India's largest travel events, I set up a booth,
Cool.
and we had said Internet Moguls. And the biggest travel and hotel entrepreneurs came over there. 50% of them said, "Oh, we already have an internet connection." They thought I'm selling an internet connection. I'm talking about how the top
Yeah.
is how I built my agency. So I want to take you back from where
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah.
So we don't need the internet. Two people saying a website. Oh, I've got my email and everything taken care of. And there's an overseas company that has my website, and now I'm hosted over here. And it was like, how am I even going to explain to these people that I'm going to charge them $2,000 equivalent? I mean, they're going to get a heart attack now. So what we did was, during the event, half day, it was a 3 day event. At half time, we completely pivoted. We said, we're not going to tell them about what we do. We're going to tell all of them. We're going to do a free audit for 100 websites and tell them where they've got hidden potential.
Okay.
So, uh,
Wow.
so we told all our team that we said, there's a questionnaire and a handwritten questionnaire. So we had, by the time the 3 day event got over, I had 3 stacks of files that I took home with questionnaires of people saying, we'll get back to you with this. And we made a humongous promise to everyone. We're going to come back to you with a crazy idea on how you can grow your business. And I
Wow.
come back home with these 3 files and lots
Yeah.
of people waiting saying, oh, this guy is going to tell us something amazing. We went back to the office, with all my team members looking at me like, okay, what next? And
Yeah.
like, you know what? Let's just analyze these people and their competition and see what we can do for them. It was a very difficult exercise. Most people didn't pick up our phones when we called them.
Yeah.
They didn't understand or whatever. But we got our first ever client from there. He had a ballooning company.
Okay.
So it's holiday balloons and all of that. And he had been overseas and he understood how that works and all of that. Then the second client we got was the Sheraton Hotel in Delhi, and the third client we got was the Shangri-La Hotel.
Wow. That must have been a big moment though to get
It was
hotels.
a big
Yeah.
moment, but I didn't recognize it back then. So when I went to the Shangri-La Hotel for the presentation, they said, Avi, we love what you've done and all of that. We'll give you 60,000 rupees a month. Back in 2009, 10, somewhere around that. And for me, I'd been building this journey for so many years, and I didn't even know how to charge for an agency. And I
Yeah.
60,000, and I felt humiliated, I felt disrespected, and I was like, allow me to come back to you. And I stormed out of the meeting. I called a friend of mine. She runs a very large HR company now. And I
Yeah.
called her and I said, this is what happened and all of that. She's like, who the hell do you think you are? Or whoever whatever you've done in your dad's small business with your internet success is something only you or 5 people know about.
Yeah.
If you are now getting on to a new business, you have to have a mindset that nobody knows me here, and they will not pay you till you get results. You're now in the services business, Avi. And if I was in your place, I would pay money to the client to be able to get such brands like those.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Completely shifted me, brought me back to the ground, and I said, doesn't matter your success in any field. Whenever you give a new service to a new industry, you must understand you're starting from scratch. Nobody cares about your credentials. You have to prove yourself again and again and again.
What
Second,
made you decide that because you were doing so well from the affiliate, it sounds crazy, and you had, of course, your dad's business. Was there not a point at which, and this is a common challenge of agency owners, like time management, effectively, and then also like focus,
yeah,
and it sounds like the affiliate thing. I mean, just on the basis of those numbers, that sounds like today that's still like that would be incredible. Someone says I make £1,000 a day, profit completely.
100%.
I'd be like, what an amazing business model you have.
100%. See, the thing was, like I said, that according to me, I had understood one thing, that nothing is, like I said, one was my dad breathing down my neck and saying, this is not going to last forever. Where are your next 5 years? What's the next
Yeah.
plan? So
Yeah.
I always was trained to have another plan for another 5 years. And also, according to my dad, even now, according to my dad, a, a young person should work 30 hours a day and do nothing else in life. And so he will always overload me with, you can do this, you can do this. So it was all him speaking to me. And therefore, I took on all the, rightly or wrongly, I don't know, but I took on whatever came. And
Yeah.
plus, also, to be honest, the agency allowed me to do from start a startup which was 100% mine and not backed by my father in any sort. So it was my opportunity to come on my own and
Okay.
yeah, be the only founder and all of that. Because end of the day, everybody would say that, oh, so you grew your father's business and all of that. So I was like,
The,
yeah, I did.
the affiliate thing was entirely you, though, right? I mean, that was your own business, the affiliate.
It was, but the money that I got from the success of my first business was what I invested into creating those other 100 websites. And
Uh,
so here it's a very important point that you bring up, that it's again a play of ego, and you should not let that happen. Because and I did let that affect me. Oh, I need to do something of my own because this is how people are perceiving me. It doesn't matter, I could have maybe had a happier life or not, I don't know. But the thing is that I let the fact that I need to prove that it's 100% me to
Yeah.
want to get to the agency side. Maybe it's
Yeah.
a bigger challenge, but you're absolutely right. If things are going well for you, you don't need to go crazy. Just zero in and hone in on one thing and see how that goes. But like I said uh, in the beginning, every single thing that I see now looking back, and I've got a presentation, but I want to make it into a story format because this is much more interesting than than that presentation. Because I
We'll
made
wait until we see the presentation, I guess.
I've, I made every single error possible. And if there are agency owners out there, they'll be like, I can't believe you did this. So that's the second thing that happened. Eventually, I got the hotels, the brands that I spoke to you about, and I started working on my agency full on with a 4-member team, completely bootstrapped. We didn't borrow any money. I remember I put in 4 lakh rupees from my affiliate website business. So
Yeah.
that 4 lakh rupees, say about 6-7 thousand pounds. And I said, now we're going to get our own profits every month.
Yeah.
Last 11 years we've not borrowed any money, we've not got any other investments, and we've still been bootstrapped. And so we make money, we make profit, and so it's always been like that for us. Although there have been times where I've thought, you know what, this funding, let's get funded, let's
Yeah. Yeah.
you on, and that's the new way to go. And I'm telling you, and I'm going to talk about why I decided not to go about that. So that, Deepak,
Okay.
was the first, I call this the first chapter of my life when I started Internet Moguls as an agency.
Wow. Yeah.
Started from home and converted my living room. Uh, oh, somebody says I visited your office
Yeah.
was in 2012.
Those
So,
bars.
started from my living room. Very few people know because my living room completely looked like a very nice boutique office. But very few people know, which I'm saying for the first time ever on an interview like this, that my bedroom door would open and on the other side was my accounts team and my project management team. So it was right there. They didn't know on the other side I had my bedroom. So this was literally my room, and my
Wow.
converted into that. And I
That's
was
brilliant.
and my commute to the office was 30 seconds. And so that worked out very good. For the first 4 years, we had 36 people sitting in the office, and then something in my head said, "It's time to grow." And time to grow, in my definition, meant it's time to now have a bigger office, have a bigger footprint, be more impressed clients. And so, therefore, we went and took on a very heavy cost, and we got another large office, very large office.
Wow.
Now, in hindsight,
Your audio has just changed. It's got lower now. Whatever you did, go the way that you had the audio before was fantastic. Unless it was, yeah. Now I hear you a lot. It's a little bit lower now.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do anything to the audio. Okay, let me.
Don't worry. Keep going. We can
Okay.
still hear you.
Alrighty. So after that, what we did was that. So, like I said, here we are all here gathered here. The topic is how to grow your agent. How I grew my agency to 500 people, and I'm telling. And I'd rather talk. I equally talk about some things that gives the audience perspective while they are growing their businesses, because I don't like now at 44. I want. I'm wary of the shiny object syndrome. Oh, a large office, a team of 200 people, 500 clients. It sounds very good, but it takes away the one thing from you, which is your peace of mind
Hmm.
and profitability. At
Hmm.
scale, to maintain profitability is to maintain a steady car at the speed of 120 miles an hour. It's not
Yeah.
easy. You're always shaking. It's not easy.
I
You're
can't imagine. I mean, the stress that must come with that must be incredible. I mean, I think about my agency life, and we're nothing like yours. We'll have max maybe 30 to 40 clients max, but the and I don't know if it was different then, but the management of people is for me, and internally as well as client expectations, a deadline being sent, you take on 2 new clients, someone who's integral to your team goes ill, or then someone disappears, and then there's this problem, and there's that, thank you Gav, there's this problem, there's that problem, and it stops. it's weird because the challenge I've also found, it's too easy to say yes to doing slightly new things and to having an idea and be like, yeah, I'm sure we can do that. And you're like, but you've not. And it just, then sometimes you wonder, it's easy bringing the money in, but then it's all the stress that comes after it.
This is, you've hit the nail on the head. And I'll tell you, flip the coin. This works as a very good strategy to get clients and to keep peace of mind. Come back from every meeting saying, I'm not sure we can work for you. Let me get back to you. A, your clients will want you more if you say no to them. And
Yeah.
B, it will give you and your team more time to actually go and think, do we really need to work with them? Are they the right fit?
Yeah.
How do you determine if a client is the right fit? Deepak, now, like I said, now in hindsight, if an agency has two aspects to it, a factory belt model, which means the process is defined,
Yeah.
which means that your teams know what to do at 10 a.m., at 10 p.m., they know exactly what to do at what time. So if you change the factory belt model and you put in something else, the learning curve, they have to go through a very different learning curve. And so
Yeah.
therefore, please don't put your teams through this torture. As 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 agency owners or salespeople, we go in and promise the world to the client,
Yeah.
come back and we realize that the team has no idea on how to run that. That's number one. Also, the agency model is also profitable because you're able to give innovative solutions and come back and figure out how the factory belt model has to be modified to fix that.
Yeah.
I agree. There are two models, and both of them are very um, profitable. And but the thing is, if there is an innovative solution that you have sold to a client, you need not necessarily have the execution done by the same team in your office. Especially today in 2021, the world has become so small. There are agency. I could call up Deepak and say, hey Deepak, have you worked on a project like this? I've got a client, let's collaborate. You can
Yeah.
collaborate. We all know a client is not going to be with us forever. You don't need to build in the know-how in-house.
Yeah.
Work with collaborations. When the client leaves, you have nothing but an email to send your partner saying, unfortunately, we've lost the client. From next month, don't bill me, and you're fine. The,
Yeah.
the problem happens when you assume, this client loves me. Last night, when I went having beers with these guys, you know what? We talk about families now. Now we're so thick, they're never going to leave. And that's when the client is,
That's deadly.
oh, that is deadly. Exactly. So I'll tell you a story of when I lost my first client. So my first ever large. So I got these four clients, the three hotels and all of that, and I'm very happy. But I was like, no, I need a I don't know why. I was like on a $10,000 deal. I want a $10,000 deal. Now,
Yeah.
$10,000 deal was far away. So I went to a hotel chain with 10 hotels, and I said I'm going to charge you 40,000 per hotel, and 10 hotels. So I started with 60,000. We negotiated. We came to 40,000, and I got my first $10,000 deal, which was within the first 3 or 4 months of my agency opening up. I was
Wow.
ecstatic. I was ecstatic. I was extremely happy. They gave me a 1 year deal with I wanted a 90-day exit clause. They gave me a 60-day exit clause, and everything was fine. Every single week in our office, we would determine how much money we produce for the hotels in terms of room revenue, restaurant, and all of that,
Yeah.
so that we can justify. And every month, we would position it to them. So I was very comfortable. I was going way ahead, way better than what they wanted us to do. At the end of the second month, I got an email saying, uh, we have to terminate the contract and we'll get back to you after 6 months. And I was shaking because I'd already built a team to take care of these people. And I was like, I
You're
was
like, what the hell am I going to do? I've just promised these guys the world. They're excited. I've moved my
100%.
bed out of the bloody next door living room.
I know
Jesus Christ.
and I'm like, I'm panicking. I'm like, what the hell is going to happen now? And I remember, uh, my parents are entrepreneurs. I speak to them every day about
Yeah.
challenges. Even now, 20
Yeah.
I call.
Amazing.
My mom spoke to me, and I told her what happened, and my mom spoke to my dad. I got a call from my dad, and he's like, and I don't speak to him every day then because I'm running my agency. So, but I got a call from him. He's like, I just wanted to tell you uh, that one hotel chain. He named the chain. I don't want to name it on the
Yeah.
show here. He said that no one client can determine your destiny, Abhi.
Yeah.
He knows I love watching movies. So he's like, they didn't get you here. They
Yeah.
are going to take you ahead. So forget that one name. Go
Yeah.
watch your movie, clear your mind, come back tomorrow and figure it out. This
Figure it
is
out.
all he said. And I
Uh,
still remember that one thing because I was like, I don't this agency world, people don't keep up to their promises, and I shouldn't run an agency and all. I had all kinds of thoughts coming in my head. But that sort of kept me powering through, and we sort of moved past that.
So, Avi, I want to quickly take some of the questions that we've got in the audience for you, actually. So Namita, just to answer your question, it's going to be 1 hour, which means we've got another 20 minutes left. So, if anyone's got questions, ask your questions because I want to make sure that some of these questions get answered. So let's get to Ajay's question first of all, quickly, Avi. I want your opinion on this. Ajay Thakur asked, "Is it good to focus on a single thing like SEO, or do we become a complete like a holistic marketing service?" So um, I Ajay, can I quickly just give my brief opinion on that? And I'd love to hear what you think, Avi. So Ajay, I think that we as an agency, Pearl Lemon, are making a mistake in real time because it's too easy to start doing additional things, and I find this question incredibly challenging because there's two different theses. There's like focus on SEO and only do SEO, but you naturally begin helping clients solve other problems. You naturally begin saying, oh, okay, we've got an issue with a WordPress plugin we can't install. We're like, okay, well, we'll do that for you. And you're like, oh, I could really charge for this. So what's your opinion on
Sure.
that approach?
See, my opinion is honestly, I feel this a question like this comes when we don't have enough business. When I'm struggling
Mm,
from getting business in one vertical, I'm thinking of 10 others. Like why not do this? Maybe I'll be successful when I do everything. And when I get into do all of that and I still get two clients, I'm like, how about artificial intelligence? How about Internet of Things? How about my own Bitcoin exchange?
yeah,
I'll keep on going from running from one place to the other because I don't have enough business. It all
yeah,
comes back to sales. You could be a master at one thing. Go according to me, if you're sticking to one niche of SEO for a particular industry or whatever, stick to one niche. If you get into digital marketing, you start competing with the big boys. That means you need a
yeah,
bigger office, a bigger presence, a bigger team, a bigger everything, and then you're in that rat race of saying I need to have my numbers work for me and all of that.
yeah,
If you're sticking to a niche of saying I do only SEO, then all these big boys are not your competition. They are your allies because they will be giving all the SEO work to you as well, even if they
yeah,
have contracts. So I would say stick to that one niche, but work hard on getting sales. The only time that we think of other things to do is when we are not making enough sales in what we're doing. This question is very, very, it's cliched to that extent. So just
yeah.
get to sales.
Great. I think that's a great answer. I think it's fantastic. Sticking to one area is great advice. So the next question we've got from Varun Banjal, I think that's the next question that we've got for you, Avi, is so Varun has been doing a lot of things. So he's just starting out his own digital marketing agency. And what advice do you have someone who maybe doesn't have the same experience that you had in, ranking websites and having some success? What would you be your advice for someone who's just starting out?
I'm telling you, this is the best question ever. I'm telling you, the best thing to do, Deepak, is create a video. Hi, my name is Avi Arya, father of two girls, six dogs, husband to a superwoman, streetcar racer, turned hotelier, now wanting to become an agency person. And Deepak, I follow you closely. I love your content. I love what you do. I love your when you post about your evening runs. And Deepak, I saw on LinkedIn that you recently picked up a client which is in the sneaker space, and I'm a sneaker buff myself. I would love to work with you on this account, and I can do the Instagram, I can do whatever. Give me 5 minutes and I'll give you a plan on what we can do for the sneaker account. I know you need more hands on deck right now, and I'll be your guy. For 2 months, I don't want any money. I just wanted to tell you how much I love sneakers and and how big of a fan I am of you, Deepak. Keep running and making sure you inspire us all off the track and as an agency owner. Thank you once again. My name is Avi. So reach out to your fans who are industry owners, agency owners, look at
Mm.
what they're saying. They won an account. You know, when they give an account, they're like, oh my God. When if Deepak says I won an account, he also has he inherited a lot of madness that comes with the account. Go and say, here is how I can help you, and
Yeah.
then work with Deepak for 3 months or 6 months and find 5, 6 Deepaks who you really admire. And after those 2 years of experience, then go ahead and open your agency.
Guys, I think that that's absolutely amazing advice. There's so much power in trying to align yourselves with people that are, that are change makers or pacemakers, right? Within an industry. And I'm thinking about the applications that Pearl Lemon get. Avi's had it also probably 10 times as much. The ones that stand out are the people that do something differently. And sending a video like that, like imagine sending a message to somebody that you're connected with on LinkedIn, like a video that you could send across to them. How amazing would that be? Imagine sending them a video across on email and really taking the time. You don't need to send that to many people. There's been people that I have pushed through the door to come and work with us when I've told the hiring team we're not hiring anybody, that because they've directly approached me, they've impressed me. I've sent it to HR. HR have said to Federica said to me, Deepak, but we're not taking on anyone. I said, doesn't matter, bring this person in. And that is what happens when you do something like what Avi has just demonstrated. And that is an amazing way to get the experience that you are worried about, that you don't yet have, that you probably feel separates yourself from, well, I'm not like Avi. I didn't have that background. I don't do this. But there are very straightforward ways to acquire it. So I love that answer, Avi.
And one more thing I'd like to say, whenever you work with somebody, I always say stay close to the sun. Whenever people join an agency, they look at people who are most like-minded, and they'll work with a project manager, or they'll work with a design intern or somebody, and they'll hide themselves in the middle of a corner
Mm,
somewhere. They don't want to be seen. And the son could be the owner of the company, or the son could be the manager, or somebody who's in it, in the thick of things. I am saying stay close to the sun. I agree, two things happen when you stay closer to the sun. You get the light in terms of knowledge that that guy has, but you also get heat, because that guy is getting all the heat and he's going to transfer it to you. If you can stay close to the sun and absorb the light and heat for a few months, you become the sun. And that's how
yeah.
you then start your own agency.
Yeah. It might be a little bit stressful, but that's where the real education happens. It's really where you can seek out how to make a difference fast. So Avi, we've got some more questions. Guys, keep asking the questions. They're coming in, which is fantastic. So let's have a look. Right. So this is quite a good question. So Biosh is asking a question about charging clients who, for example, I think in Biosh's case, he's maybe looking at clients that he's charging for SEO, but he's like they don't have content as well, and they don't understand the difference between content being a separate service to SEO. So he's confused as to how to communicate something, a little bit like your hotel experience. How do I communicate it to these guys when they're still like, I don't know, I've got the internet sorted, I have a website, so we're fine, so we're good. You're like, what do
Exactly.
you do in those cases?
The thing is, the biggest mistake that I made is to try to convince people to understand what they don't want to understand. And with Piyush's example, it seems that the industry, the world has not changed, and it's fine. People don't want to change, and they don't need to understand what are the components that are needed, right? My job as an agency owner is to explain to the person in the language that he understands. The common language between an agency owner and any client or prospective clients is currency and how it grows. Tell them how the money will grow. And so we always go in and tell them how we can scale their revenue, and then we tell them we'll do SEO. People, they don't care about the second part of the presentation. They already looked at um, they already looked at what they have in their hand, and they're like, okay, I want the revenue
Mm,
to grow up, and I forget what happened, everything else. So if they want to go from say $1 million to 2 million or 1.5 or whatever, and you can take them there, you focus on whatever content you need, wherever you need it written down from. They don't care. They want to go from journey one to journey two to adventure one to adventure two without the bumps and rides. You absorb the bumps and rides. Don't tell them that they're going to experience all of that. Tell them they're going to go from here to there, and then you take home the pressure. And when you deliver the revenue numbers, then you charge them. So the best way to charge 5 times of what a client is willing to pay you. What, Avi, can you actually charge 5 times? The guy doesn't want to
Mm.
pay me $500 a month and you saying I can charge him 5,000. It is when you work on a profit sharing basis. You become a revenue partner, you can charge whatever.
Mm.
We work with a lot of real estate clients, and he's like, I've got a building empty and I've got 7 apartments worth $1 million each. They're not selling. If I sell any one apartment, I can make way more money than he would pay me to advertise on social media his apartments. So
Yeah.
go and understand what really pains him, and that's he's not making money. Forget the content. You keep that strategy to yourself. Tell them I'm going to help you make money.
And Piyush, I think that, I mean, that is amazing advice. And what we all must realize, for those of you who are looking to grow, is that to do this, you need to get some way to achieving a level of mastery over the service that you're offering. Okay, so for the guys who are just starting, make sure that you send those messages to the pacemakers, the change makers, or just put yourself in a position. And you can do that by working for free. But you have to be able to demonstrate success, because then you'll be comfortable with the revenue sharing deals. Then you can be comfortable with taking on the burden. And this is the beautiful thing I really appreciate about listening to your whole story, Avi, is that this journey. Avi is an amazing speaker, really charismatic, but he has also communicated, but it's sometimes easy to miss. It does not come without stress.
Oh,
It does
100%.
not come without putting your feet towards the fire. And that's what you need to be mindful of, that there is no way of you're seeking to grow an agency, and especially if you're seeking to grow it quickly. How did you, I want to ask this question, and we'll take 2 minutes to ask my question.
Sure.
How do you cope with the stress of
Uh,
agency life?
that can only come from somebody who knows the business and is in it. So the thing is, to cope up with the agency life stress, what all agency owners do is we say, okay, fine, let's productize our services, so that we have to give the same service every time. Okay, productizing the service can get you only so far. Okay, let's start charging more. Okay, let's start working with overseas clients who are going to pay us more. Let's start outsourcing to people so that we don't have fixed costs. And what is that one thing that works? A little bit of everything. Never never assume the future is would be my one message, which means never think that I'm growing at the speed of $200,000 a month in revenue, and I'm going to be 2 million and 20 million one day. Never assume that things can
Yeah,
come crashing down. So have a core nucleus, a smart team that does the thinking and the pitching, and have a lot of people all over the world, content writers in Spanish, content writers in Brazil, or coders in Israel, or whatever, and have all of them people come in, and that has to be your agency world in terms of execution, so that when your client goes, there's no stress. The
yeah,
stress builds up when a client goes and your overheads are still over there.
yeah,
That's when people sell gold, jewelry, homes, assets, and most importantly, they get. I see agency owners. In fact, there should be a topic saying depression and agency life. It is
yeah,
the agency life comes in because we look at a Gary Vee and we look at a lot of people who say, "Oh, agency world, I'm going to become popular. I'm going to become verified." Agency world is the one of the most difficult service-based logistical businesses ever.
yeah.
And it just, I don't know for how we're allowed to wear hoodies and and all of that, and therefore it looks cool, but on the back end it's
It is not.
just not.
Guys, it is chaos. I think that this is a webinar, of course, about growth, but there's that other side to growth, that when you go from 1 to 5, 3 to 10, 10 to 100, it comes with the challenge that clients ultimately, it's very difficult to shift the client's mindset from not seeing you as a commodity, and seeing you as someone special. That is unusual, and that's something you need to be aware of. And it's what's interesting, Avi, is you almost have to care, but also remove yourself emotionally sometimes from being attached to clients who are unhappy for a whole variety of reasons. And that's a really fine line to walk.
I'm so happy you brought that up, because we must all agency owners realize that if the client is having a problem at home with their spouse, it is not part of your KPI. You know, it's you must realize that a client's unhappiness can stem from anything from having an early morning fight with his spouse to his kid not listening to him, and he comes home and he's like, what is this red? I gave you that variation of red that I saw Ronaldo wearing in one of his matches, and I told you to search it up on Instagram. Ronaldo wore a red T-shirt in 2016 on a
Yeah.
World Cup match. Why did you not search it up and get that same red on my website? So if a
Yeah.
guy goes as crazy as that, you don't have to match him madness for madness. You need to
Yeah.
so so you're so right. But I just wanted to sort of give this one thing on a lot of people are like, but how does 500 clients happen? How does 700 clients happen? And we still continue to work with lots of clients, and it's very simple. I go for clients who've got multiple subsidiaries. It could be a hotel which has got 70 hotels or 100 hotels. I'll take I'll take over your western region. You give me 25 hotel units, all as separate clients. I'll bill them separately. Our KPIs will be separate, but it'll be all part of the same. So they're all one
Mm.
unit. They're all together, and the learning curve is not very different from my team. And so we pitch for 100 clients. We get say they say fine, you pitch for the entire hotel chain, which was 100 hotels. We'll give you the western region, which is 40 hotels. So we get 40, and then you need 10 such big deals to get to a 400 or a 500 mark. So you don't need to
Wow.
go individually to 500 like that. So that's how it works. Central authorities, they're more although you do need to still report to the general manager of every hotel, but there's still some central KPIs that are built in. You still can grow, you still have 500 people paying you every month, but but you'll have about 50 centralized sources, 50 relationship central 50 centralized relationships. So if I go
Yeah.
and meet 50, I don't need to meet 500 people and say, you know what, let's go out for a beer. You know what I'm saying?
Avi, that is brilliant advice. I like that a lot. That's really, really smart. We've got, guys, 3 more minutes before we come to an end. I'm going to quickly ask you to see if you can answer very quickly in 30 seconds or less. Um, Ricky asked about how to choose an agency when you're not an expert. So when you're in hiring mode and you can't differentiate between who's good and who's average, what are some quick things that Ricky can look at when he's looking to hire someone like yourself or myself?
See, the best way to hire an agency is to and to have no risk involved in it, is to ask them, is to see them show results to a client who is exactly like you. So if you're in the Ricky is in the gifting industry and he finds somebody who's helped them with gifting and they've increased their profit, work with them. Don't work with somebody else who's really very good. I mean, there are people who are very good and can adapt, but for you to be safest, work with somebody who's worked with a competitor of yours and done well for them.
Brilliant. I love that advice. Love that advice. Okay, fantastic. So then, um, Namita. Well, okay, so Namita's asking. I want to ask more a bit about the 500 client stuff. Um, how does operationally that work? Some quick tips on managing clients at scale.
So again, many years ago, many years ago, my dad used to have a biscuit factory, and so that conveyor belt model has always been in my mind. So when I bring in 500 clients, I don't want my team to go all crazy, and they would if it's not a conveyor belt model. So it has to be systematized. On Tuesdays, the entire team talks about design and how we can improve design. On Wednesdays, we talk about content. On Thursday, we talk about coding. On Fridays, we talk about customer delivery, because we do not every day we cannot talk about every topic in the office. So we
Yeah.
know if we have 500 clients, we have to look at it from a top down position and say what are we going to do. And
Yeah.
so therefore, a conveyor belt model, when a client comes in, what happens in the first week, what happens in the second, what happens in the third, which means that there has to be a project manager, a very soft spoken person but very firm, who's telling the client, your your work for the next 62 weeks is going as per plan, and there are very little scope for deviation. You know what, I'm coming up with a webinar, can you do a little bit of marketing for me? Yes sir, but it's not included in the 62 weeks, because every time that we try to put in customization, then this whole conveyor belt model falls apart. So when we're working with lots of clients, we have less space for ad hoc requests coming in, and if they do, then it has to be a separate retainer and going out to a separate team. The same people
Okay.
work on it.
Okay. Right. Guys, we unfortunately have come to the end. So what made for a suspicious start for both of us because because of my video and Avi's audio, hopefully has made for an amazing ending. So Avi, I want to say thank you for being part of this webinar. I really enjoyed the story. We didn't get to the slides, but I'm sure we can put it in the description for anyone who wants to follow up after and have a look at the slides. And thank you, everybody, if you've come. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please do continue to come back to see Avi, to see me, whether it's on SEM Rush or otherwise. And I look forward to seeing you on the next time. Thank you so much, Avi.
Thank you, Deepak, and thank you for inspiring us all with your lovely agency. I love the work that you guys do at your agency. And I personally am most inspired by your running journey and how chiseled your face looks on camera.
He's too kind. Thank you, guys.
Alrighty.